All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Yes, welcome back to another episode of yet another Star Trek podcast where two best friends and Brad talk about Star Trek episodes, all things Star Trek. And most recently, we've been going through the entire run of Strange New Worlds with Zaddy Pipe. With me, as always, my two beloved co-hosts, Brad and Drew. Brad, Drew, how are you doing, buddies?
I feel like you're a jerk and also some sort of English person from someplace in London, maybe Dick Van Dyke. I don't know.
You what, mate? You what?
Dick Van Dyke is not
I don't know.
British.
No, he's not, but he played British in Mary Poppins.
I mean, everybody played British at some point, right? Even Robert Downey Jr. did it. He did it really well.
Yeah, true.
Did he? What
Yeah.
movie was that from?
Sherlock Holmes, bro, and Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah. I completely forgot he did those roles. I didn't see the Sherlock Holmes movies.
Get out.
Those are really good.
Demerit.
Were they? I'll take it.
That's fine.
We'll just get those out of the way early.
Listen, the Guy Ritchie movies are fantastic.
Guy Ritchie's fantastic.
Right. But his style, his visualistic style is.
I finally got
nice
around
plus.
to watching The Gentleman.
You liked it, right?
That was far surpassed my expectations. It started off a little bit kind of weird. I wasn't sure how I felt about it in the beginning, but like as I just kept with it, and it's all because of you, Majid, that I truly say thank you, man, because I loved that movie in the end.
Hey, man. I appreciate you sticking with it. I'll remove one of your demerits.
Oh, it means so much to me. Appreciate it.
Don't get cocky, bro. There's still an entire episode.
You might as well just give that demerit to me because I'm pretty sure I haven't seen The Gentleman either.
The Gentleman, Drew, I think. Do you like gangster movies?
Yeah, I don't mind them.
Do you like Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think you would like The Gentleman. Do you like Hugh Grant?
I don't have a problem with him.
Well, nobody does.
He's Hugh Grant.
No, there's a lot of really good actors in this film, so I think you would enjoy it.
The storytelling can be a little bit off-putting at first because it's not like you're watching the story unfold. You're hearing somebody tell the story unfold, which kind of threw me off at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And good luck trying to guess what happens in the end. Aliens invade. Spoiler alert. Speaking of aliens, guys, 10 weeks ago, you, me, and Brad, Drew, me, and Brad, us together as a team, embarked on Strange New Worlds.
Somebody may say it would be a 10-week journey.
I don't get it.
I see what you did there, Drew. Nice.
How do you not get it? Oh my God.
I don't get it.
We're like, hold on, we're 4 minutes into this thing. You've already gaslit me into anger. How do you not get this?
I don't get it. What do you mean? I don't get it.
Brad, help me.
Oh God!
Help me, Brad.
So, a joke flew over my head. What was that? Was that inside joke?
Do you ever listening to the opening credits when they say what their mission is and they're on a mission for a period of time, or do you just hit skip over that part?
I skip over that.
That's what.
Listen,
skipped this.
Hang on. In my defense, the only credits I don't skip, Peacemaker.
Yeah, that is. I can understand that.
Do you really want to taste it? Yeah, that's it is illegal for you to skip the credits for Peacemaker.
That's fair. Now, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If Anson Mount was doing the Peacemaker dance to the Star Trek theme, would you still skip the credits?
No. I don't think I would.
All right, so I gotta make you like a custom video then.
I think if the entire
call up Anson Mount and be like, "Hey, man, I need a favor."
I'm calling my chit in, bro. I'm calling it in.
I'm just gonna Photoshop his face on the John Cena's body and just lay down some new audio.
I'm sure you're gonna fulfill somebody's fantasy, right there.
Oh God!
Don't forget the hair. Mbenga has to join in as well. Mbenga has to be who was the little guy, judo master?
Judo master.
Yeah, he has to be judo master, just because. And then and Eagly is Sam Kirk.
That's way too funny.
Just thinking about it just gives me this fills me with joy.
This is the kind of quality content that you get when we record at 8:30 in the evening.
Right, we're all pretty much we're awake, but
Yeah.
I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning.
Me too. Actually, I've been up since 3.
Brad's been digging holes and building.
Yeah, I've been digging ditches, man. Got to dig your own grave, you know.
I thought you were digging a latrine because you don't have plumbing.
True. Fair enough. I've been having plumbing issues too.
Like,
Well-
hey, honey, poop in this hole.
So I was digging my hole and it's on the side of my house, and it's, you know, it has like a fence and everything, and you can tell it's an older house, but it's a brand new fence. So you knew at some point they had some sort of crappy chain link fence. And I get to this point in the corner, and I see this concrete just slabbed there doing no purpose at all. And it turns out when they redid the fence, they just left the original fence pole with the steel pipe in it. So I had to spend about like a half an hour to an hour trying to even, you know, maneuver that thing out of the dirt.
Ooh.
I mean, just cut your losses, buy a new house at this point.
I know at that point, just like,
Yeah, I mean,
screw it.
You might as well just like literally just get a Sawzall and chop the post off and just leave it the rest in the dirt.
Well, I mean, we could have done that, but we wanted to fill with rock and put some sort of nice little shed so I can.
The Rock?
Yes, Pebble. The
Fill,
rock.
fill it with Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
He's exactly the dimensions Brad needs.
Yeah, Philip with Dwayne Johnson is also another fantasy that people have. Anyway, so
Pretty sure it's your fantasy, man.
Well, remember that demerit that you had removed?
It's okay, Pebble. I appreciate it.
Oh God, we're gonna get that trending, right? So we reached the season finale of Strange New Worlds last week Thursday. We had nothing to watch this Thursday, by the way. I'm gonna be sad. Even The Boys is over, so we have a bit of a gap until the next Star Trek show tags in, which will probably be Lower Decks.
To be completely honest, I'm glad that there's nothing new airing because I have fallen behind in so many shows.
What are you watching next?
I don't know. Like here's the problem. My wife and I, like we tend to watch shows together. She watches but basically anything that's not Star Trek she'll watch with me. But it's also baseball season and we're big Mets fans, so we've been watching almost every Mets game.
Why?
Because we have a good team and it's fun.
Are they though?
Yeah.
I guess in the National League, right? But put them in the American League and they're garbage.
Says a guy who knows nothing about baseball. You're trying to gaslight me again.
I know what a Grand Slam is.
Yeah? What is it?
A breakfast.
Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Right. The best kind of correct. All right, so let's hop into the season synopsis that I strong arm Brad into writing for us. So you guys are in for a bit of a ride.
It's a long one.
Drew, I need you to enter the sexy music after he says that.
No.
Fine. Star Trek Strange New Worlds brought us a wide range of stories this season, ranging from the typical space drama like we saw in a pilot episode, all the way to the far out there fantasy like in the Elysian Kingdom. The series relied heavily on its episodic nature and truly succeeds that way. Starting off the series in its self-titled episode, Strange New Worlds, the show starts us off with Mountain Man Pike clearly still dealing with his fate and the ill effects it will have on him. However, we see Pike pushed right into the captain's chair as he deals with a first contact situation gone wrong. Pike, being the zaddy captain he is, solves the issue in no time flat by taking a very direct approach.
What a great pilot this was.
It was a very good pilot. And makes me think, if he took that direct approach, how come future Zaddy Pike didn't take that same approach with the was it Klingons, right?
Well, if you think about it, it's his direct approach was diplomacy.
Oh yeah, that's fair. It was diplomacy.
And when he came across that Romulan situation, diplomacy was his natural instinct.
That's fair. The show turns its focus away from Pike and onto Uhura for the following episode, Children of the Comet. Not to be mistaken with Children of the Corn. Thanks, Brad.
I watched the wrong thing.
Directions unclear. Watched a movie.
If you see a episode where they're running around a cornfield, you may have watched the wrong thing.
Especially if they're running around that cornfield naked and backwards.
What are you watching? I've never watched that Children of the Corn movie.
My YouTube algorithm is it's a
little frightening, huh?
Yeah. So do you need one of those friends like it's your death friend when you die? I can just go over to your house and clear your browser cache.
Well, you live too far away. It's gonna have to be Frank's. It can't be Wayne because Wayne will go like a week after. He's just be late.
He'll be like, oh crap, I forgot to do that.
Right.
He's got to get caught up on the funeral first.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So Uhura takes center stage in Children of the Comet. We find out that she's unsure of herself and trying to find her way. She is able to sing her way out of trouble as she assists in diverting a comet on a collision course with a planet. This is the same episode that Sam Kirk got blown away. And Drew formed his theory that Sam Kirk will die in every single episode. Like
I'm
Kenny.
still disappointed that Sam Kirk is not Kenny. That was such a missed opportunity.
There's always next season.
Then it won't be the same, though. It won't be the same.
Won't be the same. They missed their chance. It's over. It's not going to happen.
They could have totally broken canon and just killed off Sam Kirk.
I feel like we need that comic relief there. Wouldn't it have been great just to have like that one person who always shows up and they're always like getting electrocuted or something? Like, oh man, why did I lose my arm today?
Right, like someone who always just walks and gets hurt. Like we need a Leslie Nielsen character from Naked Gun.
Yeah.
The bumbling imbecile.
Yep.
By the third episode of the show, we start to see a pattern. We now focus on number 1, as she works towards saving a ship from an unknown illness that is affecting the crew in the episode called Ghost of Alleria. The show reveals that number 1 is also Elysian, a genetically modified species. This is a big deal because Starfleet does not allow modified individuals to serve. This is also probably going to be a plot point in season 2.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's good to see 100%. That we're planting some seeds there.
Well, it technically planted the seeds for the last episode.
Oh, there's a show?
Yeah, because she gets taken away.
Right.
You didn't watch the last episode yet, did you?
No, I think you meant in the future.
We recorded a podcast about it, so I certainly hope you watched.
News to me. I wasn't there.
You saw.
No, I thought you meant the last episode of the show overall. Because she gets taken. I thought she gets taken away like years in the future.
So yes, this goes along the lines of Brad is from the future. I've already seen the entire series.
I mean, to be fair, you've done nothing to convince us that you're not from the future.
That is a fair point.
Yeah.
Also technically correct.
Which is the best kind of correct. We see a change in pace in Memento Mori, the 4th episode of the season. An unexpected alien species returns to be a new antagonist for the show, the Gorn. We find out that they are more ruthless and merciless than the Klingons. The episode takes a very Hunt for Red October style vibe.
I want to think with the Gorn, I don't really think there's really many other species in Star Trek that kind of had that similar thing. The only thing I can think of maybe the Hunters from Voyager.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Hunters didn't hunt,
was it the Herosian, right?
Herosian? Yeah, it was a Herosian. Yeah.
The thing that rocks do when you put too much water on them over time?
What?
Or the thing that metal does over time?
I know everybody else understands, but I really don't.
You said corrosion, right?
No.
Erosion.
Yeah, rocks erode.
With an H. With an
Oh,
H.
Yeah, let's just call it that way.
Forget it. Yeah. Yeah. They
Was it the numbered species 8472 or something like that? Maybe them, but they weren't. I don't think they were as ruthless.
Yeah, it was different, I think. This felt very animalistic in a way that we haven't really seen with a lot of villains, up to this point in Star Trek. So it's kind of a nice change of pace. I'm trying to think, like there might be an episode of Enterprise that visits the Gorn too, which I wasn't really aware of when we recorded this.
I want more mud.
I wouldn't be
I need
surprised.
Mud back.
Mud's.
Yeah, I need mud back.
Harry Mudd?
Wilson did. Yeah, Rainn Wilson did a fantastic job.
I really hope that he makes an appearance in season 2 because he's still in this timeline, so it would be appropriate.
The Gorn did show up in I guess just one episode of Enterprise.
That's the one with Scott Bakula?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I may have missed it because I did watch all of Enterprise, but I had ear surgery and was stoned through most of it, so I don't entirely recall a lot of what happened.
Weren't you stoned when you were digging that hole in your front yard?
I was getting stoned.
It was in A Mirror Darkly Part 2. I don't know to what extent the Gorn were in there. I haven't seen that episode.
Oh, I think I saw that, but yeah, I totally don't remember it at all.
Yeah, we'll blame the drugs.
Yep. When you have ear surgery and you don't want to feel pain, drugs.
You don't have to just get ear surgery to do drugs, Brad. You can do drugs without the ear surgery.
It's true.
I'm straight laced, man. In order for me to use drugs, I have to be an actual medical need.
What about steroids? Would you use steroids?
No, but I drink alcohol.
Moving back onto familiar territory.
I like how he's familiar with steroids, but not with alcohol.
No, I don't drink alcohol. I've been clean for a while.
That's
No, you do a great job of not drinking alcohol but injecting steroids. It's wonderful.
You don't inject steroids.
Some people do.
You snort it.
Is that what The Rock does?
The Rock doesn't do steroids. That's a demerit. Moving back into the familiar territory, we see a very Freaky Friday style episode in Spock Amok, when Spock and T'Pring swap minds and have to spend a day in each other's body. The very comical episode does well in keeping with light and fun, just breezy episode. Probably one of my favorites in terms of performances.
It actually surprised me.
The actress for T'Pring did a great Ethan Peck or Spock impression,
Yeah. When we were watching it, like when it first started, I was kind of like, "Oh, it's one of these," and then it kind of really grew on me overall.
Yeah. In hindsight, I really enjoyed that episode.
Shifting focus of the show back onto Zaddy, we meet an old flame of his in an episode, "Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach." The Magellan people. Did that pronounce right?
Magellan?
I think so.
Magellan? Oh.
The Magellan? If we've pronounced it correctly, please at Brad so he can tell me.
Yeah, just send it all to me.
The Magellan people live healthily, and peaceful lives.
Healthy.
But,
the word is healthy.
Healthy?
The word is healthy. Healthy. One L.
There's no L there?
There's one L.
I'm gonna go with it. The Magellan people live a healthily and peacefully. No, doesn't work. The Magellan people are healthy and peaceful, but at the cost of sacrificing children. In a very emotional, very heartfelt episode, no one truly wins.
Yeah, that one was something. That ending, man.
I think that's something they can also revisit in season 2, where Pike, okay with his future, just goes in guns blazing and reduces the entire planet to ash like like Invincible.
I'm pretty sure they won't do that, but that is a no. What do you think about them, like going back to season 2 and they revisit like story arcs that were kind of continued from that? Like, how would you feel about something like that?
I mean, we already know they're going to do that. I mean, oh God, what is her name? Lian Singh?
Lon
Lan has to come back at some point. They're going to revisit her story regarding the Gorn and her PTSD, her heritage. They're going to revisit as well.
But like, I would be excited to actually have them continue each story focused area and kind of like go to that people or go to the Gorn, things like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but then it loses the charm of what this show has, which is its episodic nature.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way to keep it episodic and still acknowledge, previous events. They're not wiping the slate clean at the start of every episode. There are threads that are carrying through, which I'm fine with. But I think an episode like Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach really is just kind of a one and done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything there that they could really pull on. Not to say the same about some of the other episodes, where I'm sure we'll have like a recurring villain or a follow-up on something
Like Cybok.
Well, yeah,
because like
actually I forgot about that, but I'm really surprised we didn't get any
I know
in the season finale.
I thought, I think I told you guys during recording that they were going to bring back an old villain. I think we both, or all three of us, speculated that it would be Cybok.
Well, it was the Romulans instead.
Which was a pleasant surprise, because I had no idea who they were.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. I still can't wait to watch Balance of Terror.
Soon. Yeah. Very soon. I don't know why I said it that way.
It was a little creepy.
Yeah, my bad. No, you know what? No, I don't apologize for it. It is 9:00 at night. If I want to be creepy, I'm going to be creepy.
You're creepy. Fair enough.
All right. Love you. In the 7th episode of the series, we get a pirate-filled episode with a little bit of backstabbing on both sides. The crew make their way to help 3 colony ships. However, it was all a ruse. Again, I'm not sure why I said it that way. Through the power of cooking, Zaddy turns the pirate crew against themselves and retakes their ship. We learn that the whole plot was an attempt to get Cybok out of prison. Maybe we should have waited to talk about Cybok after I got through this paragraph.
Yeah.
Can you fix that in post?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, just reverse the episode.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
It'll be like, you're like, hey, the 7th episode. Oh, they skipped over number 6. Then they talk about 6. Drew's like, I hate you guys.
Listen, I reached out to you guys to talk about some Photoshop work I was doing, and Drew's response to me is, I don't know, it's okay. It needs more. Do more Photoshop. just do more things. And I get it. I get what it feels like for Fix It in Post, because that's basically the editor's the graphic design version of Fix It in Post.
Or rewrite some certain parts.
Oh, well, no one told you that before, though, Brad. We all love you writing.
Drew's rewrote a few times. No, they're just small bits.
I edit.
Yes.
I edit.
Oh, I get it, because he's an editor. He's our editor. We love you. This is a fun back and forth.
I like to think that I take this wonderful raw gem that Brad has created, and I tried to polish and shine it.
But Brad likes it raw sometimes. The Elysian Kingdom episode gives us a fantasy-esque type setting as we close out a major story thread for Mbenga. This is like my top 3 episodes for the season. The Enterprise becomes trapped in a nebula, everyone forgetting who they are except for Mbenga. We quickly discover everything is straight out of his daughter's storybook. And Mbenga needs to make one of the largest sacrifices of his life and let his daughter go and stay with the nebula. This is to save her life. Man, that was
heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was
heartbreaking.
very heartbreaking.
I actually got a few tears.
Wait, really? You cried?
Yeah, dude, that teared me up.
Wimp. I'm joking. I cried too. Inside. I didn't actually release any tears on my face. The steroids don't allow me to cry. This releases the crew from the spell, and they're off on their way, off to the next adventure. Is this the episode where we first gaslit Drew?
I believe so.
What a classic! This is
classic gaslighting.
Right. It was because Brad, you did it, right? You gaslit Drew.
I don't remember. I remember at one point I did. I don't even remember if it was that episode or not.
I remember because we were talking about how we can't revisit a story and
oh yeah, that was totally that was not intentional.
That's so great.
Drew's like, I freaking hate you guys.
I love Gaslit Drew. Gaslit Drew's the greatest. And then Drew's like, all right, I love you guys. But come on. Just come on.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Taking a huge leap into a horror suspense-filled episode, the crew take on the deadly Gorn as they try to find a way to survive in the episode All Those Who Wander. In several ways, the show feels as though they took pointers or copied straight from the movie Alien. 2 characters created for this episode died. Right in the first 20 minutes. And our beloved Hemmer, moment of silence. Hemmer was sacrificed. He sacrificed his life to protect the crew. R.I.P. Hemmer, in the arms of an angel.
Pour one out for H-Dog.
Pour one out for H-Dog. This is the second time that Drew is gaslit. 2 weeks in a row.
We keeping a gaslighting tracker.
I think
was that me who did it, or was that you, Majid?
Oh, that was Majid.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it was me. And the best part about it is just gaslighting Drew and sitting back and watching the fireworks like a Michael Bay movie.
Lens
the
flare.
Final episode. The final episode, we see Pike struggling with accepting his fate, contemplating on changing the outcome by writing a letter to the children, right? To one of the children.
To one of the children that was not going to survive from the actual incident.
A future version of Pike, a Zadier Pike, gives him a grave warning against such actions, and to prove the point, transports him to the future to see how dire that decision will become. Zaddy Pike better understands why he needs to accept his fate and goes back to his own time. Upon his return, Number One is taken into custody by Starfleet. To sum up the season, Pike speaks a real thing. Hemmer was taken for us too soon. Moment of silence. And Strange New Worlds may be Brad's new favorite Star Trek series.
That's truth. That's truth right there.
You know how I knew that it was your favorite Star Trek series?
Because I wrote it.
You said it.
Because you wrote it.
It's right there.
It.
Literally there.
It's verbatim.
This is not like a perfect series by any far means, but it was probably one of the strongest Star Trek series I have seen, and I think it's a top contender right now for my favorite Star Trek series.
Yeah, I can understand why. I mean, like, just going through our scores, right? Overwhelmingly positive for the most part. Like, we had a couple that were, averaged out to about a 6. 2 episodes out of the 10 averaged to about a 6. Everything else, 7 or higher.
Yeah.
We had 4 episodes average out to a 9 or higher. That's impressive for a brand new series with, mostly new characters. Like this show came out swinging. And
this show
hit a lot of runs.
They this cast, this this concept was born out of Star Trek Discovery Season 2, which was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was baking for a long time.
Well, I think that it was the whole idea with following Pike was the thing that really came. But I'm not really sure when they decided to do between serialized or episodic. But I'm glad they chose the path they did.
They hit that balance perfectly.
I think that was one of the things that the original Star Trek shows, like most of them didn't have that overarching story that was the main driving force. I mean, DS9 had it at the end. I guess you could make an argument that Voyager had an overall one, but in generalization, each episode were self-contained stories, which almost often didn't really have much impact in the show. And I kind of feel like they hit the balance that type of storytelling was trying to convey, to provide fresh new ideas and not just one long continuous drawn. And I think that's a little bit more appealing to newer fans because, well, streaming is very important, but like if you happen to miss one episode, you don't have to watch from the beginning. Or you can start at any episode, because if you know somebody's going to love like fantasy type stuff, start them off with the Elysian Kingdom and you see how they feel about that. Or if they like horror stuff, start with All Those Who Wonder.
Those episodes, like, you really can. I mean, I don't think there's a single episode this season where you can't just throw it at somebody and have them be able to follow from start to finish what's going on.
Well, actually, I have my buddy. Wow, I don't know. I don't have a fake name to give him, but I told my buddy to watch an episode of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, and we do this often. So I'll tell him something to watch. He'll tell me something to watch. We kind of trade. So in exchange for him watching this episode, I had to watch an episode of a show on Netflix called Ugly Delicious, and specifically the episode about fried chicken. I haven't watched it yet. I'll get to it. But
you're a bad friend.
Oh, whoa, easy. Don't let Brad's opinion of me influence you. We have something special.
Excuse me? What?
Anyway, so I had him start with watching the pilot episode of Strange New Worlds. And his first complaint to me is, well, you said I didn't have to watch anything. And he's like, well, I'm so confused as to what's going on with Strange New Worlds. Why is Pike, have a long beard, and what's going on? What happened to them prior? And it wasn't easy for him to jump on to Strange New Worlds. The complaint being just not knowing what happened before.
I
don't think it's like essential though.
I kind of feel like that is disliking mystery. Because I feel like in a lot of circumstances there's stuff that's gone on before when you are introduced to a character, and to me that all that really just sounds like disliking mystery.
Yeah, there's nothing essential about what happens in the pilot that requires prior knowledge. Like, you could figure it out. I've seen movies that are standalone that give less information about what's going on with the character.
Like Inception?
Yeah.
Anything with Christopher Nolan, basically?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But those movies still work.
Oh, yeah.
The same can be said for a TV show. I think we're just so conditioned in 2022 to expect, like, everything to be kind of fed to us by breadcrumbs. And sometimes it doesn't need to work that way, and sometimes it's for the better.
Yeah.
But it does help though. Like, I won't say that it doesn't help. Like, everything in Star Trek from Next Generation on, if you know the background, if you know the history, it's more fulfilling, it's more enriching. Right? Like, it would be foolish for me to say that that's not the case.
I don't disagree, but I think to the point is, like, with a new Star Trek fan, how do you get them started? And if anything, I think with if you were to just say, hey, Strange New Worlds new series, start with Discovery season 2, that's going to confuse the person even more so. And they're going to be like, wait, why am I not watching season 1? And then you watch season 1, and then it's, if that's not where you're trying to get them into it, then it could be also very overwhelming. Because I know one of the issues my wife has is that when her friends recommend TV series and stuff like that, she's like seeing, season 5, so that means I have to watch seasons 1 through 5 in order for me to get to that point where everybody's at, and then how many episodes per season. And so it takes a lot of effort to get into anything new that if you haven't been around from the beginning, it can be very difficult and intimidating.
Very much so.
I think when
go ahead,
I think when Drew tried getting me into Parks and Recreation, I think Drew's advice was either skip season 1 or power through season 1, because when you get to season 2, it's it hits its stride.
So I think that a similar thing happened to me with Black Mirror. A friend of mine showed me the first episode at a friend's party, and the first episode of Black Mirror is so freaking out there, man. It's so messed up.
Yeah.
And anybody I've ever since talked to, anytime I recommended Black Mirror, I would always be like, yeah, you can watch Black Mirror. It's a great show. Just skip over the first episode though. And then if you really want to, you can watch it afterwards.
That show, that first episode is messed up.
Yeah.
And that is my PG-13 word for it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's bad enough that the show itself is emotionally draining.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me to watch more than 2 episodes in a row of that show.
We fell off the show just because we were so depressed after watching it. It wasn't that it wasn't good.
Yeah.
We started watching season 1, and we would watch 1 episode a week, and we would be like, I can't go back. I can't do it.
That show drives people to drinking.
It was rough. Great show.
It was. But I think that's the point though, is in certain circumstances, it's just, you don't want to be introduced certain people to certain things. And so I understand, Majid, with your friend is having difficulty in watching this series, but there is a certain level of mystery that is kind of a tie to it. So it's not necessarily for everybody though.
Can I tell you how much I appreciate you, because I forgot why or how we got to Black Mirror? The fact that you just kind of brought us back makes me appreciate you even more, because I didn't want to ask the question.
So to our listeners, we had a long break there.
It was 5 minutes. It wasn't long.
But it was also filled with other conversations because people were coming and going.
Yeah.
By people, we mean just the 3 of us, not
No, just Majid and Drew. I was parked, my butt was parked in my chair.
It's because Brad can't get up, because if Brad gets up, he has to get stuff for the cat.
It's glued. I'm glued to the chair.
I can't wait to edit this section.
Yeah, I had time enough to fill a 50-ounce bottle of water. Guys, this is 50 ounces.
With pee? How long did it take you to fill that water? How are you filling it?
Cut that. Cut it.
He's not denying it, so it's true.
Cut it.
I use a Brita for this. This is 32 ounces.
You should get a 50-ounce.
This fits in my backpack easily.
I think this is my second one for today, by the way.
Good for you, man.
So gentlemen,
really.
Back to the show.
Oh, right.
This is not pre or post talk. This is during the episode. So gentlemen,
I have to say, freeform.
We did grade each episode. And do we want to kind of go through each episode and recap the actual gradings as to what we gave it?
Yeah, sure.
Or what we can also do as well, Brad. Also, when you're recapping these, think of your top, let's say, we had 10 episodes, top 3? Top 5, you think? Or
we could do top. Well, there's only 10, so let's do a top 3. I think.
All right. So yeah, this is while you're going through those, Brad. Just think of a top 3. Obviously, Drew, same for you. Think of your top 3.
So Strange New Worlds. We actually were all consistent. We gave it 9 across the board. That was kind of surprised, honestly, based upon the previous shows that we watched in TOS. None of them had a consecutive. I think. Oh, actually, I was wrong. There's like one or two, but for the most part, it was to have the first episode be right off the bat. It's such a solid number that was pretty surprising. Then
I think it's very telling too that this Strange New Worlds was, I think, to date, the best Star Trek pilot there's been.
Oh, I agree. And then with Children of the Comet, not to be confused with Children of the Corn, we gave
backwards to a cornfield naked.
Solid 8s across the board. All three of us.
Was Children of the Comet the one where they're doing Enterprise bingo?
No, that was I think Spock Amok.
Spock Amok.
Oh
right?
man. Yeah, that changes my top 3.
Ghost, what was Children of the Comet about? It was the comet was about to crash on the planet, and Uhura ended up saving the day by singing.
Right.
Was she singing? She was singing, right?
Yeah, it's right in your. Remember the synopsis that you wrote?
Yeah, you know what? I wrote it, and I was like, crap, I don't even remember if she was actually singing, even though I wrote it in the synopsis.
Honestly, Brad, I write emails, send them. 5 minutes later, my boss is like, hey, what was an email you sent to that person? I'm like,
I think I'm right there with you. Next, we have Ghost of Alleria, which was Majid, you were at 8, Drew 6.5, and me at 7. Memento Mori, me and Drew both 9s, and Majid, you were at 10. Spock Amok, 7 for me and you, Drew, and Majid, you're at 9. Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach, 7s for me and Drew again, and Majid, you're at 8. So
what a terrible title.
I know. That was
I hated doing the graphics for that one, the YouTube title card.
Oh my god, it was
because
horrible.
I ran out of room. Stupid long titles of episodes.
We then follow up with Serene Squall, which I think was one of the lower episodes for actually it was the lowest for me, which is a 5. Drew, you were at 6. Majid, you were at a 7.
What was Serene Squall about again?
That was the pirates with
Angel took over the ship.
Yes. And
Angel was right. Yeah.
Angel was trying to rescue Cybok.
Yeah, that was badass.
Following one was the Elysian Kingdom. I gave a 10, Drew 8, and Majid 9.5. Then we have All Those Who Wonder. I gave an 8. Drew, you had a 6, and Majid, you were a 4. That was by far the lowest. That was the lowest score out of any of the episodes this season for many of us. So lowest score.
Just going back and hearing my scores, like nothing came close to the 4. Everything just took a dive, like the stock market. Like all my investments over the past 4 weeks.
And last but not least, A Quality of Mercy. I gave 9, Drew 9.5, and Majid, you were at 10.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to start with the lowest 3 and then go to the top 3? Because I want you
to do it that way.
So I was thinking that way, and what I was thinking of doing, what we can do is that ignore your numbers. Think about the episodes now that we reflected back upon the entire season. You don't, whatever your top 3 for numbers wise doesn't have to be your top 3, and same thing with your bottom. And so it'd be interesting to hear where you guys fall for. What were your I would start with your least favorite episodes.
Oof. Drew, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I think the numbers are pretty much in line with my least favorites at this point too. Like not much has changed. Serene Squall really didn't click with me. I didn't care for it was just too campy. Like everything about it was very campy, and I thought that Angel was a little too over the top for my liking. I thought the way Pike handled himself on the pirate ship was ridiculous.
Yeah. Cook-
It had the
cooking.
potential of being Die Hard in space.
It was cooking to save ourselves, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, come on.
Well, they say the way to a pirate's heart is through their stomach.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think that is my least favorite episode from the entire season.
Really?
Yeah.
The Serene
Oh,
Squall.
right, yeah, because you like the one where Hemmer died.
I did, and I'll get to that in a second. But
Because you love when Hemmer died.
the I know for my second least favorite would probably be the lift us where suffering cannot reach. That's
Yeah.
probably my second least favorite. And I know my third was Ghost of Alleria. That was my
mine-
third, yeah.
Yeah, so Serene Squall, in no particular order, by the way. Obviously the alien one, which was the
Those Who Wonder.
All Those Who Wander.
Yep.
Children of the Comet, and Lifts Us Up Where Suffering Cannot Touch Us.
Cannot reach.
Lifts Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach Us.
So Drew, which ones are your least three?
Yeah, so Serene Squall is up there. I'm not going to give them in any particular order, but Serene Squall.
Well, now I feel
All
like a
Those Who
jerk
Wander.
because I was the one with the lowest to the highest. Yeah, okay.
Well, Brad, you have to understand, my brain is broken, and I can't keep that stuff in order.
I love how now you've asked me twice to give them, and I've been interrupted both times.
Yeah, by me and them.
Yeah.
It's okay. You guys pick on me anyway, so it's fine.
He just did it a third time.
Yeah. All Those Who Wander, Serene Squall, and Ghost of Alleria, I would say. Probably in that order.
Okay.
Fair enough.
But Ghost of Alleria wasn't a bad episode. It
Oh,
was
no,
just
no.
it was just an all right episode.
I think
guess.
because yeah, to me, like Ghost of Alleria, compared to the other episodes, I just enjoyed them so much more.
I would agree with that. Whereas Serene Squall and All Those Who Wander, they had, I would say, things against them that really just kind of took them down a notch.
Yeah, that stupid long title.
So that was part of it.
So Majid, what were your top 3 episodes?
Well, actually, why don't we save me for last? Drew, since you just went, why don't you tell us your top 3?
This is a setup. You're going to gaslight me and interrupt me. Go ahead, Majid.
No, please. I'm hosting, please.
I don't want to.
Please. It's not a trap. I promise you, it's not a trap.
Brad. Is this a trap?
I'm not gonna interrupt you.
All right. Listeners, this is a trap. And I want the listeners to know that I am aware of the trap, but I'm going to step in to the trap nonetheless. I can see Majid preparing to
I'm
interrupt
not.
me.
He's
He's
really
going
am
to
not.
spring like Stella, his cat.
Hey
She's
Majid,
not
this
a-
is taking really long. Can you go ahead with your top 3?
Fine. In no particular order. Well, actually, no, in particular order. Spock-a-mock.
Oh yeah, Spock-a-mock was great. I really enjoyed that episode. I don't know if I would put it in my top 3, but that was a good one.
What are you doing? What? What are you doing? What? What just happened? What? What? This is...
Way to go. Well played, Drew. Well played.
She's like, oh, Drew, revenge is a dish best served cold with a side of Chianti. Elysian Kingdom.
Metaphors.
And then a quality of mercy. That's 3, 2, 1. Spock-a-mock, Elysian Kingdom, quality of mercy. What about you, Mr. Koslik?
I think Quality Mercy was my favorite. I loved the nods to the original episode. I love alternate universe and alternate timeline episodes. They're my favorites.
Yeah, because it's basically no rules, right?
Yeah, and what I like best about them is like when we get to see what could have happened without any like lasting repercussions on the universe. You know, it's a way of kind of like cheating. Just it's wonderful. So that was my top one. Memento Mori. I adored that submarine fight against the Gorn. It reminded me so much of the starship battle between the Enterprise and the Reliant in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I loved it. And outside of that, you know, we rated Strange New Worlds really highly, but I think, you know, I think if I was going to go back and just randomly pick an episode, I might rewatch Spock Amok. That was a fun episode.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Especially if you look at the news. You see all the gas prices and all the tragedies, and you're like,
yeah,
I want something light. I want something lighthearted.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Elysian Kingdom, but, you know, I had issues with that episode. I think that was...
What kind of issues did you have with that episode?
Particularly with what they did with Mbenga and his daughter.
Oh, yeah. Right. How they properly close out his story.
I'm not going to respond to that.
Hey, Brad, what about your top three there, buddy?
Well, in no particular order, the Elysian Kingdom was right there up there. I really did enjoy the overall feel for it. It was very whimsical. And, you know, while I do agree in some sense that they could have done better with Mbenga's story, but I think they did a good job closing it out. The next one I would probably have to say, oh, it's so rough. Like,
you guys are jerks. I hate you both.
Sorry, hang on. Sorry, Drew.
It's been a while since we've broken
Does anybody else see the forehead vein? It's coming out. It's throbbing. Oh, nice.
But realistically, that is one of my favorite episodes for this season.
Yeah.
So I have a slight problem because it's like I feel like a quality of Mercy and Memento Mori are kind of tied in the same aspect. But I think a quality of Mercy, like you said, Drew, has so many nods to the TOS series, and I'm really, really excited to watch the TOS series just for that episode by now.
Yeah.
But I would have to say the most favorite episode, though, overall, it's gonna probably surprise you guys, is All Those Who Wonder.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Thinking about it is, I do agree. It pissed me off with them killing off Hemmer. I really would have loved to see more of the character, but I remember reading an article the other day where the actor, when he was offered the role, he knew that he would be dying at the end of the season. According to the article, I don't know how true it is, it indicated that they advised that it would be like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and to inspire Uhura. While I don't entirely agree it was the same impact in my mind. I think they kind of fell really short in that aspect. It lessened the blow for me, but the overall experience with the episode, it hit the nail on the head for the horror genre. It had all those cheesy scares. It had the expendable characters that you knew were gonna die, and horror has always been one of my favorite genres for a long time, and it was nice to see it in a Star Trek episode, and it was done very well.
Just a side note, Brad, you reminded me too, when you were talking about Bruce Horak, the actor. He did an interview, and apparently they're bringing him back for season 2.
Really? Oh my God, he's going to be a Force ghost.
No, they're not bringing back Hemmer. They're bringing back the actor, which implies they're going to have him do another role, which isn't uncommon for Star Trek.
No.
What if it's just Hemmer? What is just Hemmer with a mustache?
Memmer? Mustache Hemmer?
Was it
I'm Hemmer's brother. Memmer.
He could be the next Jeffrey Combs.
He could be.
I don't know who that is.
He did a lot of recurring roles in Deep Space Nine and in Enterprise. He was actually up for consideration to play William Riker, I believe, and got passed over for that.
He's been in a ton of different characters.
They Star Trek, when they get a hold of an actor that's versatile, they will use them over and over again. James Cromwell, for example, played a ton of different aliens in a number of series. Vince Armstrong, I think his name is. He's actually the record for the most number of different characters. So it's not uncommon to see like the same face over and over again. And if Bruce Horak becomes the recurring face of modern Star Trek, I'm on board.
I really loved his portrayal as Hemmer.
He was great.
Yeah,
he was great, and I think that's why I was so pissed that they killed Hemmer off.
Really? You were pissed about that? I didn't get that from you at all.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But that's one of the things that I had to really extract myself from looking at that episode. And I think the reason why I really did grade it such a low score is because of that they killed off one of my favorite characters, or at least the characters I was really interested in.
It's interesting, like, kind of looking back at these in hindsight, because, like, in the moment, like, we have to kind of give these a number, but then you kind of think about the episode in totality and, you know, where it falls in the rest of the season, and maybe that number may not fully hold up. Like, I don't know that I would give Strange New Worlds a 9 now that we've seen 10 episodes of the series.
I probably would have given it closer to an 8. Maybe.
Why don't you guys take this opportunity to rethink your score?
No, those are stuck for me.
Those are final.
Yeah.
Because those accurately represent how I felt when we watched it for the first time. And I think that, you know, when somebody is listening to our show, I'm hoping that they're listening for those reactions, not our hindsight reactions, you know?
Well, I mean, if Wayne ever listens to the show,
yeah,
he's going to listen to the last one first.
Yep.
Good old Wayne.
Just send him straight to the roundup.
But I think overall, though, our overall scoring was really high for this series, and I can't say if I watched Next Generation, DS9, or Voyager, like a first season would be this strong.
No.
So now that we have almost a week in between us seeing the last episode and us where we are right now, is there something that you guys would want to see done differently, other than the whole Hemmer and Mbenga's daughter story arcs? Is there something else that you would have liked to see done differently?
I mean, I think for me, I would have liked to have gotten more from number one. You know, we got a good start to her storyline in Ghost of Alleria, but they kind of just used her in bits and pieces from there. And I think the impact that she had was valuable. You know, she's a very compassionate character, a strong leader, that's willing to take the consideration of her crew, keep that in mind while still, you know, making sure that stuff gets done around the ship. But we only got to see her in bits and pieces, like when she discovered that Mbenga's daughter was in the transporter buffer, and you know, a couple other spots here and there, you know, the Enterprise bingo, like, okay, that was silly and fun, but what did we really learn about her? So I still feel like they dropped the ball on that, because, you know, taking her off the ship at the end of Equality of Mercy could have had a lot more impact than it did.
I think the one thing with number one is I really wish they didn't have her modified.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about that, but if you're going to do it, like, don't drop the seed and then just forget about it until it's convenient.
Yeah.
You know, like, make that essential to her character. Make that part of it. Like, Majid, cover your ears. Spoilers for Deep Space Nine. Well, I'll just say that
I'm probably not going to watch
Bashir.
that show for 20
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. So Bashir, I think, is a great story where like they kept that fresh in the character. There were 2 or 3 episodes that focused on it, but it also was brought up repeatedly.
Well, that was the case. It's like, how many seasons was it before they even announced it? It was like maybe 3 or 4,
4 or
right?
5,
yeah. And so,
it was,
but the thing is that once they did, like they immediately changed it to be, he's like, I don't need to hide anymore.
right. It was part of his character. And I don't think that her being genetically modified was an essential part of her character.
No, it was just to me, it was more of a plot point. I know.
What about you guys?
I know with me, one of the things that I probably would have liked to have seen would be about Nurse Chapel, like to have a more dedicated story arc. As much as I kind of didn't really want to see Chapel and Spock together, I would have liked to see more of their connection, their relationship build up, to have more meaning behind some of the hints and nuances that were kind of teased on the show, at least to have a little bit more meaning or a little bit more heartfeltness to it. But I really like the actress who plays Chapel, and I would like to see more of her.
Yeah, they basically shoehorned a love triangle.
Yeah. How about you, Majid? What would you?
I'd like to see less of Ortega's.
We get a full episode of her next season.
And you know what? Maybe now that we've had some distance with her, maybe now that she maybe has a handle on her character, I don't know. I think the actress said that the way Ortega's deals with stress is by being a smartass, and I get it because I deal with emotional issues like a child. So why can't Ortega's do the same exact thing?
Do you think the problem that you have with Ortega's is that you see a little too much of yourself in Ortega's? No, but serious question though.
No,
because you both rely on sarcasm and humor, but you also both get stuff done.
Does she get stuff done though? I guess she does.
She does.
She really does.
Yeah, she's a capable pilot.
I can tell you this much, Majid. My favorite episode with her is the Elysian Kingdom.
That was fun. She did a good job with that.
I do understand where you're coming from, like your dislike for the character, but I actually like her. She's kind of fun. She's been growing on me since the beginning. I can tell you right when I first met her, I didn't really care for her as much, but at this point, I'm definitely interested to learn more of the character.
I would like to see more too. I feel like we kind of got glimpses, but we really didn't get enough. It was unfortunately just, I think, too many quips. The most that we got out of her was really when the actress got to do other things, like in the Elysian Kingdom or in All Those Who Wander. When Ortegas isn't being Ortegas, I think was when the character was at its best.
Well, she wasn't Ortega's in Quality of Mercy. She was
right.
That was a different.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. Even that one, I came out too strong. Was that Specious? Like, she hated. Well.
Yeah, but again, like, that's a direct callback to a specific character in Balanced Terror. She was that character, just with a different name.
Okay.
So I think it'll add up and make more sense when we get there. I think it just didn't have the impact that you were looking for, maybe because you were kind of going in blind to that.
Maybe.
I don't know. Just trying to make sense of it.
Do you think we'll get Scotty in season 2? Now that I'm thinking of Quality of Mercy.
Part of me hopes we don't, but I would be interested to have him. So Drew, this is kind of a struggle with me. Like I understand, like we were saying with Hemmer, right? Where Hemmer's there and then he's gone, and then it's like, oh, are we just gonna replace him with Scotty? And I kind of think about, we've been watching TOS, and this is truthfully, it's the Kirk, Spock, and McCoy show. Yeah, and we get occasional, little tidbits with with Sulu, Uhura, Scotty. But that's it. We don't get like a full on in depth thing. It's always Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, the three Migos. And I if they bring Scotty in, I would be good. I would be good with that. As long as it's done right and it's not just to be like, oh, we need a new engineer now. Well, let's just bring him in.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to just keep my mind open to the possibility that they may do that, but they may not. And we'll see what happens. It's really tough to criticize something that hasn't happened, and you guys have reminded me of that a few times, and I think it's been good that you have, because I kind of get ahead of myself with that sometimes. I start worrying about something that hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah.
One other thing that I wanted to, I had two other questions I wanted to ask you guys. First of all, Kirk in this show.
Which one?
Right. I'm sorry, James Kirk.
Tiberius Kirk.
Yeah. There was an interview with Paul Wesley, and he talks about his role in the season finale, and he still is confirmed for season 2. I guess what happened was a photo got leaked, so they just went public with it, but they kept the season 1 appearance under wraps. But he is confirmed for season 2. The thing is, he said that, the Kirk that he was portraying in All Those Who Wander doesn't exist. That was
Quality
an
of
alternate
Mercy.
universe. My mistake. Quality of Mercy. He said that the Kirk that appears in Equality of Mercy doesn't exist. And it's a good point. This is actually a completely different version of Kirk, in the same way that Chris Pine's version of Kirk is different. It's an alternate timeline, an alternate universe, an alternate take on Captain Kirk. He'd never worked with McCoy or Spock on the Enterprise. He never captained the Enterprise. So his behavior, his performance isn't the same character, in a way of speaking. Do you guys agree with that?
I can see that being the case.
Yeah, I can get that. That makes sense. Because if you think about McCoy and Spock, as they've mellowed Kirk, I feel, or at least they keep him grounded.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's so. I can see how it is. So, is he going to be a reoccurring cast, a main, or anything like that?
Hopefully, we'll have more screen time than Sam Kirk.
No, honestly, I would be actually okay if they don't. He's like an occasional guest star that show pops in, but then to me, it's like, what's the point of having Sam?
What's
Kirk?
the point? Right. What's the point of having Sam Kirk if he's going to be there and get hurt in every appearance?
I wish he got hurt in every appearance, and then it would pay off. but I mean, no, like Sam Kirk could be his own character. Like, there's just because his last name is Kirk doesn't mean James has to be in the entire thing. Like, it could still just be Sam Kirk.
Well, they also threw that name Kirk out in the pilot as a red herring.
Oh, totally, 100%, 100%, and that's fine too. Like, I don't mind having a curveball thrown at me. If I am suspecting something and it ends up not being true and they get me, then that's cool. That's good on them.
What was the other two questions you had for us there, buddy?
Oh, what was your favorite character this season?
Mbenga. I've been saying that the entire season. Mbenga's the favorite character. But I mean, there's also Zaddy.
Yeah, so you said Mbenga. What about you have a second favorite? Give me your top 3.
Zaddy. Zaddy is second. And then Leah.
Lon. She can't be your favorite if you can't say her name.
Yeah. He has a point there.
I know her as Sing. Does that work?
Sing is fine.
Yeah, Sing. I know her as Sing. Or the princess with her own puppy, which was great.
That was hilarious. How about you, Brett?
So, in no particular order, I would have to go with Pike. The actor's charisma is just something that really it pushes me over to the point where I'm just like, man, I want this to be my captain. And I think probably Nurse Chapel as another one, and then Mbenga. I wanted to see more of both Mbenga and Chapel. I wasn't disappointed when I saw Mbenga. He was phenomenal. But Nurse Chapel, like I feel like there's so much more to the character that they can do. But so this one was a hard question for me, Drew. Because I really like number one. Rebecca Romaine is phenomenal. I liked Singh. I liked even Uhura. She was phenomenal too.
She was great.
So this is a very difficult question, but I think those are the top three. I mean, Hemmer. Actually, Hemmer could have also been in that top three too, even for me. It's such a rough, but then I think this is probably one of the nice things about this season or the series is that I haven't really come across a character where I just didn't like really dislike.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's a nice feeling to really enjoy every single one. Like remember the Next Generation when they swapped out Crusher for the new doc. Like I didn't.
Pulaski.
Yeah, I didn't really care for her.
I've grown to enjoy her, but I totally get where you're coming from.
Or you know what? Kess from Voyager. Like she never found her ground for me, and I think that was like very unfortunate. I'm not sure if it was just they didn't write well for her, or if they the actress was unfortunate. But things like that. But yeah, no, it just it's unfortunate. But yeah, overall though there was a really good cast and crew, and I loved the characters.
I'm with you, Brad. They did a great job choosing, their actors for this. I think for me, like I would have to put Pike in there, Mbenga, and Hemmer. I think would be my top three.
Honorable mention though should be Spock. Ethan Peck did a fantastic job.
Ethan Peck is wonderful. I was so skeptical of him when he came into Discovery, and I thought he did a good job, but on this show he's done a great job. And the same for Uhura as well too. I was tremendously skeptical about that, and was Cecilia Gooding, I believe, is the actress. She's been amazing.
Ethan Peck, I think he did a phenomenal job as Spock, even much better than what was the guy who was in the Kelvin universe?
Zachary.
Yeah, like I love him as an actor too, but I just feel like Ethan Peck did so much better as Spock.
I had a great run with this series. Excited for season 2. I'm excited to see what show kind of taps in, tags in next.
If you guys had one thing that you wanted to see in season 2, what would it be? Above all else.
I think for me, I would like to see. I know this is probably going to be stupid, but Cybok. Like I would love to see him return, because I know, Drew, we've talked about this, and that was what, Star Trek 5?
5.
Yeah, like that's probably one of my least favorite movies, but that doesn't mean that character is bad.
Right.
I would love for them to continue that story arc. I know we've mentioned it before also, this is kind of random too. Have Mud come back. I love.
Oh yeah, Mud's great.
I love that character, and it's still within the time period, so it'd be great. But I think those are for season 2. Those are things that I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I would definitely say Cybok. You can't drop that seed and not follow up on it. I'm curious to see who joins the crew. But I think most of all, like, I really want them to wrap up number one story in a way that gets her back on the ship.
Yeah, like I don't want it to just be. I'm pretty certain that they're just not gonna cut her out. I think that's. I don't think that would make much sense, right, for anything like that. But yeah, it would be really nice to see her wrapped up.
Yeah. How about you, GD?
I don't know. I don't know what to expect for this season, and I don't know what to expect for next season. It's obviously a lot easier for me to get through this show than it was to get through anything with Discovery. Well,
Yeah.
that's untrue. That's an untrue statement. It was easier for me to get through Strange New World than it has been with certain episodes or seasons of Discovery. I'm not gonna downplay Discovery. There's certain things I do like about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm game for anything.
Open-minded.
Right. Let's get Hemmer with a mustache. Let's bring it back. Let's get another Freaky Friday
Hemmer's
episode.
brother.
Right. Hemmer's twin brother. He wants to get revenge on the Gorn. Let's do it. Spock's suicide mission. I don't know. Let's get crazy. Let's get freaky.
Love it.
All right. Anything you think we missed? I know that there were certain things after we recorded each episode. You're like, damn, I really wish we would have gotten to this when we were recording. So now's your time. Either speak now or forever hold your peace until season 2.
Would you guys want to give the series as a whole a grade, or do you want to just average the numbers that we have?
If we give it a grade, I don't want to give it a number. I will give it anything from A to F.
Okay.
Let's start with you, Mr. Brad.
I'd probably give it a solid B plus.
Really? That's fair.
Maybe an A minus.
Ooh, you see, when I said that, I didn't actually expect you to change your score.
No,
Peer pressure.
I think it's A minus. Because I'm torn. Like, it's not perfect. It wasn't perfect. But
You're right.
So if anything, if I were to give it a number, though, I would give it an 8.
I knew by changing it from numbers to letters, it would throw you off. That's why I went with you first.
Yeah. I'm a rebel. Give it an 8.
God, Drew, what are you, buddy? Anything from A through F?
11-teen. No, I think a B is good for me. I don't know that there's a show that could get an A. To be completely honest, nothing is going to be perfect, and an A implies perfection. So I think a B is good.
Wouldn't perfection be like A plus plus?
A plus, maybe.
I kind of wish Drew didn't say that right before I went to give my score. So I'm giving it an A. What's in Drew's mind is perfect score or perfection. But again, I thoroughly enjoyed it. There were a lot of episodes. I mean, they got me off my phone entirely for the entire runtime. Mm-hmm. We had our fun, we had our laughs, we had our tears. But yeah, definitely a solid A. I refuse to give it a number, Brad. You get letter grades. Brad just raised his eyebrows to me very seductively.
That's why I'm going with an 8.
That's him gaslighting me now, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Hilarious.
What else? What else we got?
I think we did it.
You think so? Should we give ourselves a round of applause? We finished a season of a show?
Yay! Next TOS.
So, guys, coming up next, we are diving into episodes that we recorded in April.
I forgot about these episodes.
Yeah, me too.
What? So the menageries, parts 1 and 2.
Yeah, so the next episode that the listeners will hear is Dagger of the Mind. and then the Corbomite maneuver, and then the Menagerie Part 1 and 2. That's what we've recorded up to this point.
I think I liked the Corbomite. Ooh, did I host that episode and had a problem pronouncing it?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
I still have a problem pronouncing it. Corbomite.
It's not an easy word.
Is that it? Just I'm not doing it. No. This is PTSD for me.
So it's gonna be really interesting to see how we go back to that once we start, watching new episodes of the original series.
That what is it? The Enterprise, the captain's deck? No, the what do they call it? The dashboard of the Enterprise.
You mean the helm?
Yeah.
The control panels?
Not the control panels. The whole floor. The whole
the bridge?
Yeah, that's the word. The bridge of the. Shut up, Brad! Don't do that, Brad. I see the look in your face. Don't do it, Brad.
I feel like I'm getting wrinkles on my forehead just because of everything you say.
I couldn't think of the word.
You should see the grays that are coming in my beard. I just got 50 more.
That's cat hair.
No, I wish it was.
Yeah, it's going to be weird going back to the bridge of the ship. And it's, again, we talked about it before, Drew. It was the.
Oh, jeez.
And then all the way to kazoos. But we have some episodes to look forward to.
Yeah.
Balance of Terror. So.
Yeah, that's probably the one that I'm most looking forward to seeing. That's coming up in 2 episodes for us. It's going to be about 5 or 6 for the listener.
All right.
So
sweet. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. We hope you had a good time listening to this episode as we had recording it. This is the most fun I've had in 5 days. This is the last time I spoke to these guys was 5 days ago. But for you guys, it's a week. Anywho.
It was 3 days ago.
Was it?
Yeah, it was on Friday.
Yeah.
What's today?
Monday.
Yeah, time's a man-made construct. All right, guys. We love you all. Thanks for tuning in, listening to our gaslighting of each other. And we'll see you again next week.
Have a good one.
Take it easy, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to yet another Star Trek podcast. We're part of the Retro Sessions Network. This episode was recorded on July 11, 2022, and is hosted by Brad, Drew, and me, Majid. Drew handles all the edits to make it sound good, Brad writes the synopsis, and I take care of any of the artwork. Any additional artwork is handled by George Ratau. You can find him on Fiverr. Our music, Warp Speed and To the Stars, is written and performed by the one and only William Grovelar Music. Be sure to check him out on SoundCloud. We'll have a link for him and George in the show notes. Would you like to support us on social media? We're literally everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, at Yet Another ST Pod. Or if you want to send an email, Brad loves email. You can do so at yetanotherstpod@gmail.com. Want to show your love and support the show? The best way to do so is to write a review and rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe. That's literally the most important part. Thanks again. We'll see you next week. Until then, live long and prosper.